If someone calls you a doubting Thomas, they are using a 2,000-year-old historical shorthand for a stubborn pessimist, someone who refuses to believe a single claim without hard empirical proof. But singling him out is historically inaccurate. When the women who visited the tomb and the travelers on the road to Emmaus first reported that Jesus was alive, almost none of the original disciples believed them. His nickname, Didymus, translates to the twin, and in many ways he is our twin. His demand to see physical evidence perfectly mirrors the modern, rational, scientific mind. The historical record also documents a man capable of immense bravery. When the disciples warned their teacher against walking into a deadly ambush in Judea, Thomas stepped up and said, "Let us go to die with him." Curious, slightly frustrated tone. Yet history has allowed 1 week of honest questioning to completely eclipse the decades of fearless, boundary-pushing exploration that immediately followed. Defining him solely by his doubt erases his actual legacy. The man who demanded to probe his teacher's wounds didn't walk away satisfied and settle down. He instead packed his bags and walked thousands of miles to alter the religious makeup of an entire subcontinent. According to an early 3rd century text, the apostles gathered in Jerusalem to divide up the known world, casting lots to determine their respective missions. This map of the 1st century Mediterranean highlights the familiar Western narrative. From Jerusalem, the early church pushed densely westward, establishing communities all the way to the heart of Rome. But Thomas drew a lot pointing in the opposite direction. His assignment was the distant territory of India. To get there, he relied on established maritime spice trade routes, riding seasonal monsoons across the Indian Ocean to the Malabar coast. He made landfall in Cranganore, in the modern state of Kerala, bringing a radical new theology to the East in the year 52 AD. This timeline means a vibrant Christian community existed in India nearly 15 centuries before the British Empire or Portuguese explorers ever arrived. The idea that Indian Christianity is a byproduct of European colonialism is historically false. On the ground, Thomas was highly strategic. He engaged with existing Jewish trading settlements along the coast and then expanded his teachings to the local high-caste Hindu population. This map of the Kerala coastline plots the specific locations where he successfully organized 7 distinct Christian communities, including Cranganore, Quilon, and Nilakal. These original hubs formed the direct roots of the modern Malankara Marthoma Syrian Church. By growing organically within Indian culture, this movement developed its own fierce independence. They practiced an indigenous tradition for over a millennium before Portuguese missionaries showed up in the 1590s and tried to force them under Roman authority. Thomas engineered a robust, self-sustaining institution that survived centuries of complete isolation from the Western world. After establishing these communities, Thomas pushed his missionary work straight across the subcontinent into new territories, arriving on the eastern coast near modern-day Chennai. Here, in 72 AD, on a rocky hill, his exploration finally caught up with him. Thomas was struck down with a spear and martyred. There is a sharp irony in how his life ended. The man who once demanded to physically touch the spear wound in his teacher's side ultimately took a fatal spear wound of his own, dying for the exact same conviction. The site of his death is now known as St. Thomas Mount. Carved right above the entrance to the shrine built there is the phrase he uttered back in that upper room, "My Lord and my God." Today, it stands as a national shrine, drawing global leaders like Pope John Paul II, who travel from the highest echelons of the Western Church to acknowledge the validity of the Indian apostolic tradition. Thomas is the true patron saint of the modern, questioning mind. His life proves that demanding hard evidence and wrestling with difficult questions are not enemies of faith. They are the exact fuel required to go out and change the world.